Beginning in 2008, following considerable contemplation and discussion with our executive leadership team, our company launched an important diversity and inclusion initiative to grow our web of ideas and perspectives with the creation of 10 permanent global constituency groups. These groups are men, women, Blacks, Hispanic Latino, Native Indigenous, differently able, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, Asian, interfaith, which includes agnostics and people from different faiths, and generational, which we define as 30 and under and 50 and over. Each team is made up of 15 to 20 senior leaders representing our best talent across various business units and geographies. Except for the men's and women's teams, each has a male and female leader to make sure we have a balanced gender perspective for each constituency. There is also one representative from within and one from without the United States to ensure we have a truly global versus U.S.-centric effort. Each group also has an executive sponsor who is not a member of that constituency. This allows our sponsors to learn about a constituency other than their own and to engage in unfettered advocacy as it is not perceived as self-serving. All 10 teams were asked to address the same 4 questions. The first 2 internally focused. How can we accelerate the development of leaders in your constituency? And how can we enhance inclusion for your constituency? Externally, how can we better meet the needs of customers in your constituency? And what partnerships or strategic alliances are most important for us to collaborate with your constituency? These teams, comprised of over 250 people from 32 countries speaking 19 languages, first met face-to-face at the beginning of 2008 in a hotel ballroom in New Jersey. Serving on these teams proved very hard work for members on top of jobs that were already very challenging in an industry that is in the midst of reinventing itself much as the IT sector did in the mid to late 1990s. Despite the challenges presented by language and cultural differences, time zones, jet lag, and the fatigue that comes with it, these global leaders enthusiastically embrace this opportunity to focus on the people, their colleagues across Merck, and our customers. Most Merck meetings are very serious and subdued. After all, we are a company with a mission to save lives, and we take every aspect of that work very seriously. Typically, this is reflected in the tone and gravitas of our many PowerPoint-driven meetings. I'm sure you can all identify. However, this initial gathering of our global constituency groups had a wholly different feel. The room was vibrating with boisterous enthusiasm. There was laughter, tears, and deep and thoughtful listening as the participants sought to really hear each other. Employees shared their personal stories with great ferocity and courage, and by the end of the 2 days, we all had a very different understanding of who we are individually and collectively, and the enormous potential power our differences could make if we could somehow collectively help Merck create a more inclusive environment that truly embraced all of our multiple dimensions. Remember, global companies do not and cannot submerge the individuality of different cultures and backgrounds. At Merck, we recognize the dramatic influence of national and personal culture as a key to successfully operating globally. Consider what happened when our global constituency groups began to meet. I want to give you just a couple of examples. First, there was Denise, who is an African-American female leader of our U.S. marketing initiatives, who is teamed up with Ro Hinton, who leads our operations in Saudi Arabia, as co-chairs of our interfaith team. They, like others, both faced this assignment with some trepidation. A team that was comprised of people of many faiths, including Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Protestant, Baha'i, Hindu, and agnostics. How could they come to one set of recommendations? Well, what they learned is what they shared is a common need to have their faith included in the workplace by respecting various observances globally versus just only those of the majority Christian faith, and by providing quiet or meditation rooms for spiritual reflection within our work environment. Or take the experience of our global Black team that wrestled with the many different experiences of those who are African American, African, British, Brazilian, and Caribbean. Or the experience of our differently able team, differently able because disabled trans is less valued or not valued in some languages. One of the co-chairs of this team leads our operations in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Canada, and the other leads our Global Alliance development efforts. Both individuals wondered, would employees be willing to self-identify as having a disability given the stigma so often associated? They found that both employees with disabilities and employees who are caregivers for people with disabilities were very interested in having Merck see them as a valuable and informed resource that represents a key aspect of our marketplace, those that author Deborah referred to as activist consumers. In the end, after numerous virtual meetings and hours of debate across many time zones, these diverse sets of individuals collectively identified their vital few recommendations for top leadership to consider. These were the following: diversity outreach efforts much earlier in the pipeline, culturally competent and respectful customer engagement approaches, consistent global access to various forms of flexible work arrangements supported with online training and tools to enable conversations between employees and managers, and all 10 of our global constituency groups committed to making sure that they role modeled supporting flexibility in the workplace as well as coach their peers to do the same. Mentoring opportunities and greater accountability for robust development plans that are monitored and supported so learning gaps are quickly closed. Community and supplier outreach efforts that support economic sustainability. And finally, alliances with thought leaders in diverse communities who are credible messengers of healthcare solutions. These recommendations seem pretty straightforward, but the truth of the matter is that most companies only pay homage to these ideas without fully embracing them as they would other critical business initiatives. We have not only identified these concepts, but are putting in place mechanisms to make sure we make significant strides in each area throughout our business through strong executive sponsorship, stretch goals, linkages to compensation, and regular monitoring and reporting of progress. It is ingrained in how we operate for all leaders at Merck to reach diversity and inclusion goals. These goals are used to judge not only an individual manager's performance, but also divisional and overall corporate performance. As I conclude, let me try to bring home for you what I have said today so that you can see that what we are doing on the diversity and inclusion front can positively translate to the future success of your community. Right here in Northeast Ohio is a seed of possibility. That seed is One Community, a homegrown organization that enables innovative connections and collaborative solutions with an emphasis on education, healthcare, government, and workforce development. Earlier this year, a group of 9th and 10th graders who attend the Cleveland School of Science and Medicine at John Hay High School joined Dr. Mark Gilinov of the Cleveland Clinic via internet as the doctor repaired a leaking heart valve in intricate, high-definition detail. The doctor and the students were joined that day by a dozen government officials and executives from countries like Portugal, South Africa, South Korea, and Italy, who were also interested in learning about the technology that was enabling the students' experience.